Good morning, everyone. Hope your Tuesday's off to a good start. I just wanted to share some thoughts from Paul in Philippians 4, specifically verses 4 through 9, and that reads, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice. And the God of peace will be with you." One of the reasons I love this section so much and I wanted to talk about it was it's such a tangible, practical approach to the fruits of the Spirit. Because sometimes we look at the fruits of the Spirit and we say, oh, well, if we follow after God, then our life will bear this good fruit. But there's really no kind of tangible roadmap to get there. And Paul kind of tackles this here, where he kind of goes back and forth between saying, you should have this fruit, but also here's how you should go about that. So he starts by talking about joy, rejoice in the Lord always. He says, let your gentleness be evident, So he's talking about fruit that you should have, but then he kind of comes back and says, don't be anxious about anything. So have peace. But then he gets really practical with it. He says, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. So he's saying the path to peace is to bring things to God by prayer and petition, that we don't worry, we don't stress, we don't let those things fester. We bring them to God by prayer and petition with thanksgiving. And he throws that tag on that our mentality has to be that of thankfulness, of humbleness. And then he continues on by saying, that then the peace of God will guard your hearts and your minds. And then he continues on with that second section, as that kind of gives peace to the heart. The second section, 8 and 9, talks about the mind and how to bring positivity to the mind, where it's essentially, if you want to have these positive outcomes, if you want your life to bear positive fruit, we have to choose to think positively. We have to choose to focus on what's good. Any area of our lives or any one of our lives is going to have good and bad. It's never going to be 100% good. It's never going to be 100% bad. But we have to choose to focus on what's good, because if we focus on the negative, then it's going to bear negative fruit. And it's not that we don't address those things, but essentially we control what we can control. We give God what we can't. And with our thoughts and how we choose to approach them, we choose to focus on whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, or praiseworthy. And we think on those things. And then verse 9 becomes this kind of tag for discipleship on whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it in practice, where it's, if this is Paul specifically, but learn from one another, that if we can follow after one another, that we can have those that are discipling us in life, or be someone that can be a disciple for others, that can be a source of learning and knowledge, that if you see something in me that is good, then follow after that, then replicate that and put it into practice. So I hope that's a good reminder for you this morning. I know it is for me, just to be able to focus on what is good, focus on those positive things, and it will, in practice, bear more fruit. And I hope that becomes true in your life this week and moving forward in the long term. Thank you. Have a wonderful morning.